feel like just not addressing Skylar Diggins and what she said yesterday was very problematic, And so to let everybody know, Skylar Diggins-Smith, she's currently on maternity leave. She had a baby, right? And so she's not playing. She's one of the Mercury's best players. And that's arguably why they are not in good standing this year and at the bottom of the standings, because they are missing Skylar terribly. She's so important and instrumental to this team. Now, look, some background, even though Vanessa Nygaard, the former coach, has, been terminated, they had a history of not getting along. There was also last year, as many may remember, her and Diana Taurasi had a little back and forth. Things got heated. They had a heated exchange between them on the bench last year, right? And then all of a sudden, trade rumors started to swirl about Skylar, right? So there's history with this organization and things not being great with them, but she's still a member of the team. She is still a member of the team. And August 2nd, yesterday, was her birthday. Shout out to anyone born on August 2nd. So was my mom. So shout out to my mother and my aunt, twins.
I love that. My mom is August 3rd. Shout out to the Leos.
Shout out to the Leos. And I'm a Leo too. Mike Smith was a Leo. His birthday was on August 1st. So it is Leo season. But okay, I digress. Skylar was celebrating a birthday on August 2nd, and fans noticed that there was no birthday wish, no birthday greeting to her from the Mercury, right? And so, Skylar responds and basically says, look, they're not going to acknowledge me, and then basically goes on a tweet storm where she reveals she's not able to use the practice facilities, which is crazy. Not just the practice facilities. She can't use all of the resources that all the other members of the team are allowed to use. For some reason, she's not allowed to use these things. And so now people start raising eyebrows and there's chatter all day. And that was really unfortunate to hear, because we also remember before she was traded there, she raised concerns, about how her pregnancy was handled, for her prior team. And so it's you have her saying this now with the Mercury. We already know that there's some bad blood within the organization. And even though Vanessa Nygaard is gone, leads me to believe that may be more with Diana Taurasi specifically and not necessarily the org, but that's the face of their franchise, right, Kelsey? We understand that. And then you had controversy earlier in the year with Becky Hammon and Dearica Hamby and how her pregnancy was handled. So I'm looking at a league. This is the W. It's a league of women, a league that represents women. Why are they struggling so much with pregnancy and how to handle women who are pregnant?
It's heartbreaking because, as you said, this is a league for women, and childbirth is a natural part, right, of womanhood, right? Essentially, if a woman wants to have a child, this is Skylar Diggins-Smith's second go around. And essentially, she was saying, the health of her child she was trying to protect, which let's remember, folks, we are in 2023 in a world where Black women have the highest infant mortality rates, right? So thinking about Skylar Diggins-Smith and her backgrounds, I think anybody would want her to protect the health of her child. But also, I'm thinking of a league, that ratified their CBA back in 2020. And specifically, they were supposed to be praised for having some of the best in any industry in terms of supporting women during pregnancy. And I think when you're going through pregnancy, it can be difficult, right? Your body's changing. Skylar Diggins-Smith alluded back to having to practice herself, losing 48 pounds, which in itself, Nat, clap, because that is not an easy thing to do, to have that snapback. But that's probably when you need the most support. And to find out that your organization, right, your franchise, I know some people might say, oh, they did not acknowledge her birthday, but a lot of us, I'm one of them included, we like to think of our birthdays as holidays, Nat, and your organization is something special. We see every sports league really acknowledge their players on social media during their birthday. It does mean something. And then for her not to be able to have simple things that she should have access to as she works back to get with her team. Nat, I remember the joy folks had seeing Skylar Diggins-Smith at the ESPYs. We wanted to see her. We wanted her to be back. WNBA fans got joy from that. And even now, as we look at a team where we're wanting her to get back on the squad, it just continues to look like bad blood, which, as you said, the Mercury are not in a good position this season. Obviously, they need her talents. When she stopped playing, let's remember, she was not just one of the top players on the Mercury. She was one of the top players in the league when you look at just her productivity. And so I think we are missing a lot from Skylar Diggins-Smith. I hate that she had to air her grievances on social media. You would have hoped that this was something that she could have been talking with the organization about. But, when you have organizational leaders saying, she's on a maternity break, or, just not seeming like they're very supportive of her, I can only imagine what she's going through. Again, as a mom trying to work her way back to the game that she loves. It's that simple. A mom trying to work her way back to the game that she loves. And so, like you said, it was kind of like a double whammy in the sense that we were celebrating Diana Taurasi, then also looking at this organization with a side eye net saying, what the hell is going on within your organization where a player has to literally just put everything out there to basically say, hey, like, things aren't good right now. I'm not getting any attention. I'm not getting any love. And I think for WNBA fans, it just makes us scratch our head again and just figure out, what's going to be the future of Skylar Diggins-Smith. Obviously a player that's loved by so many in the WNBA. People want her to be somewhere where she's supported. But it seems like the Mercury, just for some reason, Nat, they aren't able to clear up whatever is happening with her and the organization. And it's not a good sign, especially it seems like she's seeming like she's saying that from the top down. It doesn't seem like there's a lot of love there, even though going back to when players, wanted her back. I remember at the beginning of the season, Brittany Griner talking about, how, she wanted obviously Skylar to come back. And so it seems like some of the teammates, are supportive, but you got to have the whole organization standing behind Skylar, just standing behind women in general. You talked about Dearica Hamby. We wish that was the end of this conversation, Nat, about women and childbirth and be able to play sports. We've seen so many female athletes be able to snap back and be at the top level, right? After having childbirth. We had this conversation, with Serena Williams when she came back from having a baby to tennis. But all in all to say, we've got to do better. This organization has to do better. And I really hope they're able to mend it because Skylar Diggins-Smith is too talented of a player and too many people want to see her to come back for all of this to be going on. It's just messy. And something needs to be cleaned up.
Well, yeah, it's very messy. And I'm glad that you actually mentioned like what Brittany Griner said about her, because a couple of things just to provide context. One is they did apparently wish her a belated birthday greeting. Feels awkward, I believe, on the broadcast. Additionally, to provide some more context with, why there's some tension with Skylar. And again, we don't know exactly where it exists. We knew it was with her former coach, Vanessa Nygaard, who's no longer the coach, but also potentially with Diana Taurasi. And it feels like they're trying to just act like that's not a thing. And I don't think that, and I don't think that's the best strategy, because like now when like yesterday happened, it's not a good look. But, what happened is Vanessa Nygaard made comments, there were other things, but she made comments when the All-Star selections happened. Skylar made the All-Star team last year. Diana Taurasi did not. And Vanessa Nygaard said, yeah, there's going to be an All-Star game, but, because there will be a game played, in Chicago. I believe that's where the game was last year. But because basically that Diana was not there and did not make the team, that there wasn't going to be an all-star game. Completely like just not acknowledging that another member of her team, a star player on her team, had made the team. So in response to that, Skylar tweeted a clown emoji at her coach. She deleted the tweet, but she deleted the clown emoji. So we know that there's some bad blood there, right? And so she's often being painted in the media as the villain, like all of her teammates don't like her, like she's problematic. And so that's why a lot of people were speaking out yesterday to push back about that narrative. People in the media, other WNBA players, because like, why is she being depicted in this way? So I'm glad that you brought up Brittany Griner talking about her, because it's unfortunate too for the other players on the team, because they're in the middle of this, right? And they probably do want to speak out on her behalf. They also probably want to remain loyal to Diana. It's just a very, it's not a great situation. And so, look, I don't know if we're ever going to see Skylar back in a Mercury jersey, and it probably isn't the best thing for her. But this is really unfortunate, but even not bigger, because both things are important, but just the fact that they're treating a woman who had a baby like this, allegedly. But this is now like not the first time we've heard about this in the WNBA, is alarming. So they need to do better.
Yes, and do it quickly because this should have been solved yesterday. Now, it really shouldn't have even been a problem. So I think all we can say is, we wish Skylar Diggins-Smith, her family, the hubby, the new baby, just wish them well. It's good to see that she's been posting the workout videos, keeping us updated with her progress. I think it gets fans excited, but she's still young. She's still at a birthday, but I feel like we still have lots of basketball left, Nat, from Skylar Diggins-Smith.
Sure.
So this isn't the end of her story. It's just a little rocky road in this story on her way to continued success.
Hey, thank you for watching Brother from Another. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and do that now. Don't forget, you can catch us 3 to 4 weekdays on PeacockTV.com and on Sirius XM Channel 85.